that, but you're right. Endpoint have been looking really good as of late on Vertigo and Dust 2. So honestly, as long as Endpoint put up a bit of a fight here, I guess I shouldn't be as worried as maybe I am.
Yeah, I think a lot of this series is going to be coming down to just how much momentum Illuminar can carry into that second map. Because I agree, I think that Illuminar may have actually won the veto, but I think the other two maps, and I think that because of that single map victory, which we could predict will go the way of Illuminar on Nuke, they may have a little bit of momentum to carry themselves into map 2. Crucial though. We'll see what kind of momentum he can find for himself here towards outside. He's playing around the big garage right now. That flash comes out in his face, and he actually won't be able to face these players coming into mini. It'll be Surreal who's there to challenge, and he's able to find one onto Mouse. Veggie, though, is able to trade him out nicely.
Now a bit of a push coming in from Crucial. The bomb's being planted, and they've even faked me out. I'm not even sure where it is. I'm pretty sure it's A. Yeah, as Reetz is going to be holding the heaven position. Robin coming in. There's two players hiding in Hut. Robin's going to take the fight with the first. He'll win it. Crucial, in the meantime, wins his own fight. They do know Innocence coming in through Mini. He needs to get here soon. He needs to help Snacks, who has to kill the diffuser and deal with two players. It's just not possible. Nice retake from Endpoint, but they really isolated those Illuminar players.
Yeah, that actually looked a little bit more coordinated than I expected from Endpoint. They showed a level of comfort in that pistol that, yeah, I don't think we really expected. That was actually surprisingly clean looking. It's kind of weird to say that off of a team winning a CT side pistol, but they look tempered. They look like they knew exactly who needed to pick where and when. They knew how to defend that diffuser, and just held their ground on it. So good stuff from Endpoint there. A nice start off of the pistol, but because of that plant, current meta, that will allow Illuminar to purchase a couple of AKs along with a few deagles. There's some good utility on the side of Illuminar. I'm interested to see where they decide to throw that. It looks like there will be some kind of cross smokes, but I don't know if these smokes landed very well. Yeah, no, these did not. I was trying to see on the tracers what was happening with those smokes, but that actually allows Endpoint to have a lot of information, and it's just going to be a straight up mini wrap coming out from Illuminar. They haven't checked the secondary vent, and that might be their downfall there. In fact, just about everything will be their downfall as the entire Endpoint team clean them up beautifully. It's just Snacks that remains, and I was mentioning this before, that Illuminar sometimes have some unorthodox strategies, some old meta plays where they just send the bomb the other way as the other players are the bait. And Snacks, he could get a plant towards lower, it seems like, but he will be going for the heaven flank.
Now, you don't want to blame the smokes on this round being a slaughter, but if those smokes might have been a bit tighter, perhaps Endpoint take the bait and rotate one player off that A site, and the pistol's able to win their duels. Maybe I'm reaching a little bit, but definitely if those smokes landed, it definitely could have helped a little bit. If Snacks can get a kill, just a single kill, it goes little ways. With 8 seconds, he's just going to be peeking into the horde. And all 4 players, the nade will claim him. That is going to be Endpoint getting their second. It's going to be Illuminar having to save. And I guess there is a little bit of woes already from Illuminar. Hopefully they can clean it up. Again, starting on the T side, I think 5-6 rounds is kind of their goal, but definitely might need to crisp it up a little bit.
Yeah, those smokes actually, those don't bode well for Illuminar. I'll say that. That's something that you really can't let happen, because it allowed the Endpoint defense to just end up so much stronger on that upper bomb site. Because Surreal saw that no one was going towards lower, it's easy for him to just move into mini and say, all right guys, I can help out. We don't need to rotate anyone to the lower bomb site. This is a much easier hold because of that. So we'll see if Illuminar can pull the rotations of Endpoint a little bit more into the next gun round. But as for this one, it should be a pretty clean affair. There's a few P250s on the side of Illuminar, but I'm not sure what they'll be able to accomplish with those. Just seems like it will be a pretty straight up ramp hit. Thomas has a great off angle. This is one of my favorite off angles in the game, actually, and he will be able to find just one. Crucial's here to support him, though, at the J Hall. He knows that a single player has moved into Thomas's position, and oh, what's this? Mao actually is able to find the kill onto him, so it's a 3v2 situation, and total ramp control is given up by Endpoint.
Innocent on 22 HP with his AK. Now, this P250 on Mouse is really only going to be able to one-shot Robin. We'll see if he can close the gap with a couple other players. He is on 2 HP. I'm going to grab that M4. I don't like their odds of getting lower to plant. Their odds of going to through hell and heaven and getting down into A site, not good either. So just try to trade out each other. If they can trade out Robin and get a plant, that would be really cool. Molly comes in, 10 seconds, and Innocent has to take this fight, and he does find the headshot. That's 3 kills in a plant. No matter how this goes, in my opinion, this is a big W for Illuminar, as Innocent is going to be on the hunt, try to reposition. Mighty Max seems prepared for this, but he's just going to group up. They're going to both come clear it, and he almost wins the first, but they'll peek together. And Endpoint do get a third here, Maui.
Yeah, that's pretty scary round on the side of Endpoint. They do get the victory, but like you said, I also would consider that a win for Illuminar. The plant will allow them to have full utility. They could bust out the op on one of their players if they so choose, but it does not look like they'll be opting for that. Just completely full utility. A couple nades coming out. I would love to see if Illuminar mess with the rotations of Endpoint, just trying to nade the door or maybe sneak down the vent. But we'll see what they actually go for. Endpoint, on the other hand, this is a round that has now become a lot scarier than maybe it should have been because of the casualties they took in the previous. Surreal, though, fighting outside. He will try to find an opening pick, but it'll be Crucial who gets a nice kill on the Snacks. It looks like the floodgates may be open towards outside, but Illuminar will be stopped in their tracks. Very good shot from Crucial, and he's able to see a couple of these players going lower. Riats, though, in a face-to-face duel against the op, will find a kill. Surreal, though, is able to pick it up for Crucial where he left off, and that is another frag going the way of Endpoint. Mighty Max, he doesn't really want to challenge that angle, though. Looks like Surreal will have to do a lot of the dirty work towards outside. Big Garage will still be his home. Robin is here to help him out from the mini garage, but Illuminar, they haven't really taken any meaningful space just yet, but that kill will allow them to get a little bit more, and Riat's getting Robin as well. That really just opened things up.
They shouldn't expect Thomas, though. But look at this flick from out. He's going to get one, and he spots Thomas. He can shut this down himself. Good trades from Veggie and Illuminar. It seemed like Endpoint had the setup, all the weapons they could need. And I really do hope Crucial shows up on this map, right? Because he has been a staple for Endpoint. Nuke has been one of the more difficult maps for them. And if he's able to come online, I like their chances. But right there, they just simply get out-traded, Maui, don't they? I feel like their positionings are prime, too, but somehow they just get out-traded.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised by some of the duels that were won on the side of Luminar there. Endpoint will be forcing off of that, and it's a little bittersweet. I mean, you only have one single rifle. You have a 3-round, you were up 3-0, but after that single loss, I mean, now it's really hurting a Nuke. It's one of those maps that force buys do work, but if you weren't able to win some of those pretty much 50-50 outer gunfights with rifles, it's going to be pretty difficult to hope for anything better with this weaker weaponry here. So Surreal and Thomas, they have a nice setup towards ramp, and this might be a big determinant in the round.
Thomas tucked in, here's him coming. He's going to call for Surreal to come back, and that timing from Surreal couldn't have been worse. Right when he leaves, he comes back with a molly in hand and just gets caught. Now Illuminar, they can really go wherever they want. Lower, upper, doesn't matter. They are going to try to plant on B while maintaining ramp control. They'll plant in the smoke, not give Robin a single chance to find anything with his deagle. Might be able to find a 1v1 against Reeds. And I mean, maybe. But Illuminar really waking up once these rifles come out in their hands. We've seen their outer take and trade out rifles. We've seen good spacing on this ramp hit. And I have a feeling this round, though, Thomas was screaming for Surreal to come back as soon as he heard those footsteps. Just awkward timing. And Endpoint maybe wanting to save the Scout and Deagle, perhaps. Robin just trying to do some damage before the economy from Illuminar blows up. But it's almost too late for that, because back-to-back rounds like this, keeping like a decent amount of players alive, they're going to be okay. And especially considering Endpoint have to save here, Maui, it seems like Illuminar's... Honestly, this is a great turnaround.
Yeah, definitely. That was a pretty good victory for Illuminar. It's a shame that the Molotov from Surreal never really came out in time. That could have really stopped them in their tracks, but yeah, like you mentioned, probably a little bit panicked on the side of Endpoint. Thomas up close and personal, but he wasn't able to get it done. And Surreal wide swinging from the J Hall with a molly in hand is not what you want if you're him. I mean, it's a tough peak already. It's just kind of a 50-50 one at that. And if you have a grenade in your hand, you're not going to be coming out ahead. So good couple rounds in a row for Illuminar here. And they'll be going with a pretty slow and steady approach for round number 6 here. Just a pretty simple lobby-centric default. I'm a little curious as to the lack of outside presence from them. But it doesn't look like that'll be capitalized on from the side of Endpoint. It might just be a door pop. In fact, Mouse is going to be the first entry at this position. Surreal, he has a good angle on it, and I think he may have been able to alert his teammates that there is, in fact, a door hit coming out here. Veggie will be the one to spot him. Surreal somehow tagged down to 40 there, and it looks like it will, in fact, just be an upper hit. No real contest that is possible on the side of Endpoint. This is, in fact, just an odd setup, all things considered. The flash comes through, though, and Heaven Flood begins. Surreal is able to take down Mouse. This is becoming a little bit hairy, but Veggie is there to clean up. Nice 3K from him, and it should be pretty much the end of days for Endpoint in this round. Pretty scary. The HP is actually very low for Illuminar. If only that damage was inflicted onto just, you know, a couple of players instead of all 4 there. Maybe Endpoint would have been able to walk away with a couple more frags, but Illuminar will be able to keep 4 of their members alive.
Well, looks like Surreal is gonna try to get aggressive in towards Secret here. He's made it. He's been able to sneak in. And he's going to throw this lovely one-way. I'm a big fan of that smoke. It should be an immediate red flag for Innocent, but I think he was so blind that he just couldn't even tell that it was a one-way or even that there was a smoke in Secret. So he gets caught. Good opening pick for Endpoint. It's kind of what they needed in a round where they have no utility, huh, Maui?
Yeah, it's a nice frag to find. I'm always surprised that one-way just never ceases to find kills. I like it as well. It's fun to see teams use it, players take advantage of it, but I'm always a little bit just kind of like, it's interesting that you continue when you see the one smoke in Secret, and a nice mini smoke comes out as well. It should not allow any kind of one-way whatsoever. This round looks like it might just be up to Crucial, though. There is a player already at lower, but Crucial has to just hold his ground at ramp. He's able to find one, looking for more. He finds the tag, and he's able to get a kill as well. It's a 4v2 advantage for Endpoint at this point. Veggie will have to make up a lot of ground here. He was able to get down the vents earlier. Mighty Max is very keen on his position, spots his head, and that's just like whack-a-mole. Mighty Max, a master at that game. And Snacks now coming out of Hut right now. This would be an insane clutch. He's able to find one. He might be able to find a plant, but goes to the other side of the silo, and Surreal will be there to welcome him with open arms.
That's what Endpoint needed, right? Crucial coming online. Big shots from him. Whether he's towards ramp or outer yard, he is really one of the big players for Endpoint, and he has to be hitting his shots. It's a big move. I like seeing Crucial play well. And the money from Illuminar is going to come back into effect. Where they're able to get a full buy. Mouse, quick and aggressive, but there's Crucial once more. He is everywhere, from ramp to mini to outside. He's starting to own this map. And that's what I love to see when you watch Endpoint. As the rest of the Illuminar boys, although they don't get the first pick, they're able to cross. Not the most fair of trades for a life to be able to cross into secret, but hey, it gets him down into the lower. Thomas has already rotated around. He is going to be on the rafters. And he's going to hear these Illuminar boys. Question is, does he get a fair fight? Is he going to get spammed down through decon, the spam? Or will he be able to get a fair fight? No. Veggie spams him down. That's so strong as Snacks gets involved now himself. And this is where it gets weird because Crucial's alone here. How aggressive do you get? And he's liking his eyes. He's able to find Innocent. That's the bomb down. No one's close from Illuminar to trade this Maui.
No, 3v3 situation. Riats, he's not able to get the bomb just safely, but that flash enables him, and he's able to take down Mighty Max. That's a huge kill, and it should give Illuminar a huge edge on this one here. Crucial backing up at ramp right now. Doesn't quite know if anyone is flanking him. Snacks is giving a lot of info to his team, though. He knows that this A bomb site is entirely free for the taking. Riats just worried about trying to get this bomb safely, and at this point, Endpoint, they don't know if they should be committing towards lower or if they should be backing up, but Veggie will make the decision easy as Crucial falls there at U-Haul. Now it's just Robin that remains, and Veggie, I mean, he makes things just so simple for the side of his team and Endpoints for that matter, just taking both of their heads off. And I thought Snacks' play may have decided something for that round, but as a matter of fact, it's just Veggie all day. He finds the spam and he's able to find 2 headshots on top of that. A huge 3K from him. And now Endpoint, they're forced onto P250s again. This is so tough for them. It's back and forth, but it feels to me like Illuminar is just coming out on top. They're able to take a little bit more money moving forward. And on the side of Endpoint, I mean, maybe you'll get a buy into the next round, but how many casualties will you be able to find on the side of Illuminar? Because you need to start thinning their numbers here, start taking this money away from them, because if they can build too much of an economy, it will be just too much pressure for the rest of this half.
I don't know if you're as surprised as I am, Maui, but like I feel like Veggie could have been a crazy Polish talent, and I think he could have been on like the old, like really stayed around on the VP roster. I think he could have maybe moved on to better things, but I think he's developing nicely now. Again, under Illuminar, I think he just needs a stable team that's not going to make too many roster changes, right? And he is a phenomenal talent out of Poland, so hopefully he continues to develop because he is impressive to watch. And right now he is dismantling Endpoint nearly by his lonesome with the help of Snacks here and there, but he single-handedly won the last rifle round. Endpoint just pistols here, and Illuminar are already putting up really good numbers on this T side, so let's hope Endpoint can win the next rifle round confidently, right? Build that economy, try to give themselves a bit of a bubble to fall back on if they need to, but Illuminar is starting to seem like get comfortable, and that makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, I can agree that I think Veggie, he had a long way to go when he was on VP. I think he showed up decently in some of the events that they played at, but when he faced off against higher level competition, his game was not as consistent. But I mean, that just takes time. When you're thrown into the deep end early on a team like VP and the expectations are so lofty, it's never really easy to just jump in and say, all right, I'm ready to take on Astralis, right? I mean, it's always gonna, there's always gonna be a learning curve to it. And the skill that he's shown, at least to me at Home Sweet Home, and how he's bounced back has been it's been rather impressive. He's had a variety of winning rounds for his team, whether it's just kind of off of raw aim or some kind of interesting clutch. He's shown that he can get it done in a multitude of ways, and against, you know, this kind of tier 2 EU competition, he actually has had a level of consistency for me. He's not, it feels like maybe in the gun-to-gun rounds, he's not always just lighting up the scoreboard, but he's doing his job and sometimes having some massively impactful ones. Early nade stack, though, towards outside from Illuminar, that's not something you see every day. It's more of kind of an anti-strat nade stack where you really think that the opposing outside rifle player is just going to be getting up close and personal, and it's not able to connect. A lot of nades, a lot of utility used early on from Illuminar, and they aren't able to find anything with it. But in this war of utility attrition, they are ahead right now. They do have quite a few nades left with a minute and 15 left to go.
Ooh, I like this from Surreal. He's going to need a flash perhaps over the top, but the timing seems a little staggered, and he's going to get cleared by Reitz. So unfortunate. A good trade from Crucial, but he's just so in the open. That walk contact from Illuminar, it's just so scary, surreal. Probably literally screamed in real life as soon as he started getting shot in the back. It just seemed to catch him off guard so much so, expecting the smokes, hoping they just walk in front of him, but not the case. Illuminar's outside yard control is something I've expected they'll have in their back pocket. And I mentioned pregame, Endpoint's outer yard control comes down to crucial, getting it up and being able to be effective. Without it, their holes are just not there right now. Robin, and typically a one and done in Mini doesn't even get the one. And Money Max gonna get pinched out on site. There's the trade for Mouse, and the round is just gonna follow.
Yeah, this was a really cool call. I actually haven't really seen too many teams lately do this kind of stuff where they just dry walk outside. It's something that the old VP lineup used to do, actually, and it makes me think that Snacks just brought that into this team. I remember actually pretty specifically at some of the majors that they played, they would just bust that out on Nuke, and it would catch teams sleeping a lot of the time. A few teams have tried to replicate that. Alexi B has definitely brought that over to some of his teams as well, the dry peaks outside. It's usually a read based off of the money that your opponents have, and I'm not sure if Illuminar knew for certain that Crucial wouldn't have an op in this round, but that's really one of the only reasons that you use it. It's one of the, if you know that the opposing team doesn't have an op in their hands, you would love to do that kind of dry push outside. Mao's somehow catching Thomas. I can't believe that he actually knew he was there, or that he committed that hard to that angle. Yeah, that's crazy. It feels like Illuminar is just reading Endpoint at this point, and it's going to be difficult for Endpoint to come back into this game, because at this point you might think that Illuminar is in your heads just a little bit.
Yeah, they know where we're saving. We're in trouble, boys.
Yeah, that's such a crazy read.
That's so absurd. I mean, Illuminar just looking really good, and it's crazy that, like, if I told you Snacks is going to be opping and calling on an all Polish lineup again, like, your mind would just probably implode if I said that a couple of years ago. But now he has some good young talents to work with, and it's crazy, as you mentioned, like, we're getting shades of old VP, like, but like reformed a new meta. Like, it's hard to get a read on the money, but the fact that Snacks is able to do so confidently and just call around it. And I don't even feel like he's calling around his op either, Maui, which is kind of crazy, because a lot of oppers that are IGLs, like Fallen, for example, they'll kind of almost not call around their op, but they will set themselves up for success and then kind of deal with the round after. So it's cool to see how I don't feel like Snacks is calling around himself. He's always more team-oriented.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. It rarely feels like on T sides he actually, does set himself up. Like T-Time was mentioning in the pregame on Dust 2, for example, on the T side, he was having a struggly time.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
struggling.
It was like he was trying to just will his way into some rounds, and it was just not looking good. Surreal, I mean, he really needs to come up big for his team right here. These outside smokes come out early. Snacks just dry swinging, and he will catch Surreal off. That's a huge kill for him once again. Outside control is taken already. Thomas, he will have to he'll have to do what Surreal couldn't. But it looks like his utility will dissuade Illuminar from pushing on forward in this 5v4 advantage. It's really up to Illuminar here how they want to try to convert this. There's still only a single smoke on the side of Endpoint. They have no Molotovs to stop any kind of quick play at this point. Endpoint, they probably need to make some kind of proactive play in order to at least get themselves a little bit of information, as it looks like it will be an upper hit, and it's just a contact play coming out from them. Riats is able to take down Mighty Max. I think they're oh, I thought there was maybe another player, and I guess that's it. Yeah, another round going the way of Illuminar. A good mid-round adjustment from them. Just flat out contact play, and somehow it catches them off guard.
I guess Illuminar are pulling out the kiss method. Do you know the kiss method, Maui?
I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that one.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
The stupid part in the end, I don't know why it's added to that method, but it's part of the saying, so I'm just rolling with it. But it seems like Illuminar are not overcomplicating anything, really. Snacks is looking for the opening pick. They get the pick. They group up. They contact walk together, and they take a site. They're not doing anything fancy. Crucial does have his op, just unable to find the opening picks. And I guess what's hurting Endpoint the most right now is what hurts a lot of new teams on CT side with the new economy. Is just the getting choked out from utility, right? Like, you don't have the mollies and the extra flashes and the kits to go for these retakes, and they're just running short and falling short on utility and manpower-wise at times.
Yeah. On top of that, I don't feel like the rotations for Endpoint have resulted in enough for them. I think Robin at that point in the round was lower. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure. There was at least one player who was lower. I'm just kind of guessing off of the numbers when I think who was where. But it's really up to the CT side to know who should be going where and when off of what. And to me, it feels like Endpoint, they don't really resemble some of the better teams on Nuke, where I usually just feel like every player is somehow in the right place despite the chaos of the round. But this time around, actually, Endpoint, they might have picked the right spots. Mighty Max is able to get a kill in the hut. Robin, though, tries to desperately move through heaven. And Thomas, just alone on an island at the lower bomb site right now, should not be able to get involved, it seems like. But Snacks, interestingly enough, I think he's lower. I think he's in the vent. Yeah, okay. This is very weird from Illuminar that they haven't planted just yet. It shouldn't allow Thomas to really find anything. I think he's just going to be tucking in right now. But, you know, if there were any way for Endpoint to get back in this game, it would be by Illuminar just kind of overthinking things. I mean, I think at this point they should be exercising the kiss method. And
gotta kiss your homies.
Yeah, exactly. Kiss the bros. And I think Snacks is ready to do just that. I think he's gonna join up with his innocent boyfriend and kiss it.
It's the way you love it. It's the way you love to see it when Illuminar pull out the kiss method. Thomas gonna try to save, and looking at their cash, yeah, they're all right for next round. Obviously, Max lost, which, top of my head, I think it's still 3,400, unless it changed on me, which I don't think it has, because there's a lot of things I've been updating lately in CS, which I'm it's really cool. Thumbs up. Oh, good job, Valve. But looks like this is going to be a 9th from Illuminar on the T side, Maui. That's kind of a scary scoreline. And it hasn't been due to a lack of, like, rifles from Endpoint or lack of ops in Crucial's hands. You mentioned rotates, and I wonder if that's just the main culprit for this scoreline.
Yeah, there's a few things I think Endpoint could improve here. I don't feel like there's actually even one real big flaw in their game right now. It's you know, it'll be interesting to see how they adapt. Crucial wants to just try to take the fight to them. A good shot to start things off, taking down Veggie. He's going to actually be looking for more. I think there's a flash to try to push him off the angle, but it will still just be Crucial trying to hold the line. In the cross smokes, he will fade, actually, and looking for more, he will not be able to accomplish anything, actually. Mouse takes his head right off. 4v4 situation, and Illuminar, they've been doing such a good job converting off of these kinds of situations. I have to worry a lot for Endpoint in this round. Illuminar haven't really taken a lot of space just yet, and Surreal will look to keep on fighting. Mighty Max falling down from heaven, and he'll just go right back up. I'm not sure if that was a misstep by him to fall, but it'll be up to Surreal and Illuminar. Just the slow and steady approach outside. A lot of teams, they really worry about overstaying their welcome in that position. But Illuminar, it feels like they have this level of comfort towards the outside yard that a lot of teams don't really exercise nowadays.
Which is crazy, because I feel like the outer yard is kind of like mid on Mirage. It doesn't have to be mid for it to be considered a hot point, you know? I feel like the top red box smoke, I always compare it to a top mid smoke on Mirage. It allows you to get out, get behind the top mid boxes, aka the red box. And I just draw a comparison to Mirage because it's probably the most played map for most people. And to me, that's what outer yard is. It grants you control to outside hell. It grants you control to secret and mini. As Thomas is below here, and he doesn't get a single one. That dark corner, not the greatest spot to get more than one. But at the same time, he's nervous to play top rafters because he's been sprayed down so many times from Veggie. So the nerves, and then Luminar just kind of throwing in different shades of themselves, catching Endpoint off guard. This is going to be double digits And Endpoint are trying to save so they have guns next round, but it's not looking likely. I think Illuminar can throw everything at Surreal and not lose any sleep over it, honestly.
No, look at the money on these players. They all have above 10K, 5-digit just funds for all of them at this point. Even Veggie will have above 10K after this round victory, even though he is in the grave right now. But, you know, I'm interested that the hunt wasn't a little bit more I thought they were really going to try to stick it to Surreal, but they don't seem to continue there. It looks like this will be a technical pause coming out, though. We'll see exactly why this is. Endpoint actually called for it here. This will be the first pause of the game, as a matter of fact. Mighty Max calling for a little bit of loss. Feels like this has been happening just occasionally in online CS.
It happens. It's the woes of CS, and until everyone has fiber, which honestly, realistic, if I'm speaking, I think everyone's gonna have fiber in the next like 5 years. I don't think we're that far out from everyone being on the great fiber with awesome connection. I feel like that's the next thing in humanity is just really good internet, because it's such a good tool, Maui. We need to take advantage of
it. Do you have it?
No. I wish. It is close, though. It's only a couple cities away, so it's just a waiting game at this point. It's just old infrastructure needs to be ripped down, new ones have to be put up, but at the same time, it's like, you can't rip that down. That owns that company owns it, and they don't want to upgrade because then it will take away from there. But it's such a pain.
Yeah. The woes of the feudal age that we live in. Just all of this land never being given up. And I mean, if we're talking about landlords here, I think Illuminar might just control the property here towards outside. It doesn't even seem like at this point Endpoint really wants to contest it. Crucial, he's recognized his feudal lords, and he is not really too interested even fighting there. But thankfully for him, these overlords are not actually pushing their ownership towards outside. It'll be actually towards inner, and Innocent and Snacks connect with a couple of kills themselves, and I think that might just be it for the half right then and there. Thomas and Crucial will desperately try to get back in this round, but with so much real estate lost towards inner, it will be such a difficult task.
I'm very impressed with the explosive nature of Illuminar. Their pacing seems really good. The way they're able to just contact pop is impressive to me, and Snacks getting his openings with these ops, the riflers following up, and here they come through the mini smoke. Snacks is just blinded in the smoke, and Reeds Innocent will find him. An 11-4 half score line. You can just see the string of rounds being made there. I'm gonna count in my head. Is that 11, 3, 6, 8 in a row? That's a lot.
Yeah, it sure is. It's a pretty even distribution of frags on the Illuminar side. That's nice to see that they aren't just being carried by a single player here. Snacks even didn't really have to do too much here. He's 8-6, which is by no means a bad score, but you know, if you thought there was going to be any hero on the Illuminar side, you would usually point towards him. But at this point, I feel like this half may just be a bit of a formality until Endpoint can show any kind of life here in this game. It seems like Illuminar will be able to steal this first map. A quick play towards outside, though, will do its best attempt to try to slow the victory of Illuminar here. Early Hell control is taken by Surreal. He actually might just wrap into Hell. This is a very interesting play coming out from Endpoint. It's able to go 2 for 2 already. Snacks here is there to help, and he's looking for a frag. Mouse will be the one to catch it. But Mighty Max here in a 1v3 situation, just kind of playing close towards ramp, is only able to find a single kill. Illuminar will find their 12th round of this game.
Snacks doesn't even need to get a kill when he rotates over to ramp. He just gets the attention and allows Mouse to stay alive and work around ramp. Able to get 4 there. That's kind of absurd. He had one hell of a pistol, just dancing around the box, staying alive. And Illuminar, when the so important CT side pistol, Endpoint one they needed to win. But the saving grace, the kind of little underline, The silver lining, which they put in underwear because it helps mask smells. Fun fact of the day is the bomb plant gives them money, which means they can half buy and have a full buy next.
I feel like you say this with maybe some experience in the.
I recently found out about it. And I think it's cool to have silver in underwear. That makes me feel kind of baller.
So you've been doing that, or not? Have you been able to?
I haven't
purchase?
melted down a silver bar and put it in my underwear yet. No, but apparently it is woven into some brands of underwear, and it's good for masking smell. Not saying I need it, but it wouldn't hurt.
Right. Yeah. I feel like you have brought up now a couple of things that, you know, if things just went your way a little bit, whether it's having the silver necessary or you know, the connections from fiber, you would know what to do with it. You have it. So we'll see if Endpoint, you know, if they'll be able to find anything once they have the money as well. They will have it in the next round, but this one is just going to be Thomas in the 1v3. He gets Snacks pretty low, but isn't able to find the frag. Snacks able to upgrade that MP9 to an A1S. A nice little pickup from him, given that he was not only able to get the money off of the SMG kill, that $600 bonus, but able to pick up his teammate's rifle as well.
Well, this is it. This is what the plant and the one save round has gotten them. It's a glass cannon op on Crucial, AKs with utility. So they need a big pick from Crucial or these AKs to flush out a fair fight. They have all the tools at their disposal now, Maui. I'm going to see if they can put them to the test, if they can get on this grindstone, get a couple rounds under their belt, and come away at least feeling decent about how this map's been going. And they are just going to be holding, seeing if any aggression comes out from Illuminar. But they seem pretty content. They're big chilling.
Yeah, nothing really in terms of control being taken just yet by Endpoint. About 50 seconds have passed in the round now, and they still don't really have any ground to speak of here. They will look to be setting up outside smokes. I think this might be the deeper version, actually. Yes. Okay, so they can actually get a lot of space with this. I'm curious to see what they decide to take. Usually this indicates some kind of split towards lower, but oh, a gap is being exploited by Snacks and Innocent there, and this is really not going the way of Endpoint. A couple kills, though, do. So Surreal and Mighty Max are able to make it a 3v3 situation. Veggie, though, peeks out of vent with perfect timing, and Riats with the re-aggression towards Secret there. It's just Thomas in the 1v3, and they know his position with just 20 seconds remaining, and that bomb towards outside. There's really no hope for him in this round. It's just a matter of, can he keep his life intact? Can he take a couple of players with him? I don't think that'll be the case, though. 10 seconds remain, and oh, he does find a kill on a Riats. That's a nice one. But at this point, it's a definite win for Illuminar here. 14-4 scoreline. Thomas trying to find some kind of time to activate himself in that round, but everything just does not go the way of his teammates, and he's left stranded alone and wondering, how did things get to the point that they're at now?
Yeah. That's definitely a thought that's probably crossed their mind. Only one player in double digits on Endpoint. Again, you can't really point the finger at fragging. Obviously, it's a big part of it, but I think it is mainly the map. And Illuminar playing really well right now. They seem to just always find space and just get those kills. They're so explosive once they start going, so this pause is going to lift. Endpoint will buy what they can. Crucial may just... Yeah, I was going to say, you could drop an AK instead you're just going to go for the MAC-10. So the MAC-10s, the lone AK on Thomas. They get some utility. This is typically a sign of a quick play. And there's the nade, smoking the mini, flashes and mollies and everything else. Where he's just spamming in the smoke. The molly finds Surreal with the damage. Here comes Veggie. He's dropping down. He will lose that fight. And now an opening. A chance for Endpoint. Out they come towards Hut. Can Innocent lock this down? He's spraying away. This round is wild as Reitz gets caught in second vent. Snacks gets flashed off, but Mouse is here as well. The molly will finally send them packing, and we have a moment to breathe.
Yeah, 2v2 situation. Good smoke, actually, also going towards heaven there. That will make things very difficult for Illuminar. And Thomas and Mighty Max, they might have found a win for their team. But still, on the retakes is Snacks and Mouse. It's a good smoke to isolate that door player, and Thomas will have to push through the hut now. A flash right beneath Mouse. This is going to enable him beautifully, actually. And it's just Thomas that remains, and he will be taken out. A very well-coordinated retake coming out of the two players, Snacks and Mouse. That was such a nice little flash beneath heaven right there to allow Mouse to go for a peek. And now Illuminar on map point, they have 11 chances to try to take this. I would be surprised if they don't find it in one.
Yeah, the way this is going, I do have the feel, especially in that post plant for Endpoint, it seemingly was in lock, but they had to deal with Snacks and Mini. By the time they went to do that, that's when Mouse swung. So, yeah, looking like this may just end here and now, which Endpoint may very well want to just move on to Vertigo. Forget about this map entirely. It's not your pick. It's a BO3, but after this, you just need to win 2 straight on 2 maps you're very comfortable with. So, I would imagine they're not the most worried, but Snacks heating up might become a worry for them as he's going to continue to stick around here, dodge the flash. Molly won't exactly spread to him, but he'll put it out anyway just for comfort's sake, as the Molly is still going to stay, in fact. So that kind of keeps him from pushing him specifically and puts Endpoint more towards Decon. Mouse is on the round. What's that?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's all you, man.
All right, well, we'll just watch Snacks here as he takes down Mighty Max, looking for more. He's able to get Robin as well, and that's probably going to do it for this game. I mean, I'm sorry for interrupting, but I just wanted to get that point out that I feel like in a later patch of CS, I've been seeing that just constantly. That smokes put out the corner of a molly, and it doesn't actually extinguish the whole thing. I'm sorry for cutting you off there. That's my bad.
That's okay. But, no, it's a good point because it actually worked in Sax's favor where perhaps it shouldn't have, right? So, like, he puts out this molly specifically to give him a one-way with the smoke, and the molly just stays, so he's not going to complain. Stops him from pushing, forces them to one doorway, and you can kind of see the result. So, 16-4 from Illuminar in map 1. Endpoint hoping they can bounce back on Vertigo, a map that Illuminar are not too timid on themselves. So, after the break, we'll jump into that. Hang on.